Oh yeah. What's up, everyone? How you doing? I think we're live. I don't know. YouTube's being coy with me, so I honestly don't know what's going on. What else is new? Not knowing what's going on. Psh. Whatever. Hopefully notifications are going out. If not, that sucks. Oh, man. So yeah, sorry for, I apologize for starting a little late today. We had to go pick up our E3 badges. These bad boys right here. We had to go pick these up this morning, and obviously that requires going downtown LA. It takes a little bit. I got a little bite to eat. Because we have a lot of press conferences. We literally have a trifecta of press conferences back to back to back to start off the day. From the PC gaming show, leading into limited run games in here in a couple hours, and then literally we just go straight into Ubisoft, and then we get a little bit of a break before the Kind of Funny Games one pops up, and then there's Square Enix and I think one other later on tonight. So that's going to be pretty intense. But yeah, as you can see, Sonic at the Olympic Games is one of the primary advertisements in here. We actually have an appointment to play that game, so we wanted to wait in line for it. Take the Olympic stage with your friends to compete as Mario, Sonic, and a tremendous cast of characters in an action-packed sports game. And then it tells you where you can check out the game in the West Hall. So, and then on the back, it has the Sega Genesis Mini. So obviously, Sega bought the little insert this year. So there you go.
Yeah, we always throw away.
Well, you don't throw it away. I have all mine. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're going to E3, by the way, and you get this pass, take it out. It's gonna rip your thing, and you're gonna lose this. And without this thing in here with your QR code, you can't get in. So, but yeah, I always keep it, and it's a nice little. Basically, I put it back in my badge once I get home, and I hang it up, and it just kind of sits on my hook. But yeah, that's my pass. It's got a bunch of stuff on the back that tells you don't lose your pass, basically. This is neat. I know some of you guys saw this on Twitter and stuff before, but it's got Zelda Link's Awakening. Nintendo buys the lanyards every year for everyone. And then it's got Luigi's Mansion 3. And then on the other side is Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I'm wondering if because Pokemon takes up such a huge part of the lanyard, if that's what the booth's going to be themed after this year. It'll be interesting. We got just Nintendo Switch on the back. So, kind of cool. I don't know. I like it. It's now my second E3 lanyard that features Zelda on it, so I'm not going to complain. All right. Whew. Again, I don't know how many people are tuning in, because I don't even know if this is appearing. It had a weird start on YouTube. It's not even appearing on my homepage of my channel. Let's see here. Get this tweet out about the PC Gaming Show. All right. See if it's actually appearing on my channel yet. I don't think anyone's going to tune in until it actually is appearing on my channel. You figure I'm live. Hey, it is finally appearing on my channel. Cool. So we got like 31 watching. Awesome. Took a little bit for it to finally appear. So again, I apologize for starting this late. We were supposed to do the pre-show like 43 minutes ago, but you know what? Whatever. Now we have the show begins in 17 minutes and 10 seconds, as you can see. The countdown timer. I don't think there's anything happening. Oh, we got a little music. Got a little music. I'm going to turn that music down a bit until the show gets going here. Maybe up a little bit more than that. All right. Let's see here. Mark is here. Welcome, Mark, and Cody Shadley and Demon Rage. FR1 KK07 is here. MacMain is here. Captain 05637. Ryan Lista. Let's see here. Cody Shadley, Jared Brooks, the little guy. Crazy Derp is here as well. Randall Cromer. Let's see here. Christopher Stitch. So, sweet. What are you guys talking about here? E3 has been flat out horrible this year so far. What makes you say that? Because I completely disagree. My opinion on E3 is like the polar opposite of yours. So, But again, it's always about what you're interested in more than anything. Mark says you'll be on to the end of Ubi because you'll be. Oh, and then you gotta wake up for work. Yeah. So, how I do this is, I literally stop the stream and I reboot it with a different URL for each press conference. So when it uploads to YouTube, each press conference is its own video. And you've saw what I did with that yesterday. So it's gonna be like that today as well. So there's small breaks in between the streams while I get the second stream and the third stream set up. But I'm basically going to be streaming all day. Even that hour break I have between Ubisoft and Kind of Funny Games, like, I'll probably, you know, be back up streaming a little sooner. We'll see. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling at the time. You know, that's when bathroom breaks and whatever I need to take care of. Maybe I got, you know, call and talk to the kids quick or something. The badge is as large as a face. I mean, it's big, yeah. Let's see here. First time watching the PC E3, I guess. This is my third time watching it. I've watched it almost every year. I'll let you guys know right now. The PC gaming show is usually the most boring of all the shows. I'm just going to be honest with you right now. It is typically a very boring show. I don't know why that's the case, to be honest. It just is. But they do have games shown off. Sometimes they talk about new technology, processors, GPUs, stuff like that, and I'm interested in all that. They usually put a lot of fluff in, is usually my problem with the PC gaming show. But, hey, it's a thing that exists. It keeps coming back. It's obviously getting viewership. We're going to watch it because I do PC game, believe it or not, so why not? It's part of E3 like anything else at this point. Let me see here. What are the questions all revolve around Skyrim? I have no idea. Let's see here. Bethesda mainly interested you, except but it was bad except for Doom. Deathloop didn't look bad. Wolfenstein looked good. What was... Eric, do you remember what the other... There was 2 new IPs that Bethesda showed off. Deathloop, and what was the other one?
I wasn't here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You weren't here. Yeah, God. What was the other game? There was another game that they showed off, too, that looked really good. That, for some reason, I'm having a hard time recalling. Probably because I still have that whole Devolver Digital Direct rolling in my head. It's hard for me to remember anything besides that Direct right now. And that Direct was amazing. You're going to wait for the Ubisoft conference is at 1 p.m. Pacific. So 4 hours from now, roughly. I got a huge PC and 3 Switches, but I might actually think about getting an Xbox next year. Who knows? Nice. AMD is the one killing. Oh, dude, yeah. AMD has been rocking it. But let's see here. Doom Eternal was your favorite thing from the Bethesda conference? Nice. It's been a disappointing E3 so far. See, I completely disagree. Dude, I thought Microsoft's press conference, you can maybe not like the pacing, I guess. That's a personal preference. But the games they showed, there isn't a single game from the Microsoft press conference I don't want to buy. I want to buy every single game. I know I can't realistically afford to do so, but I want every single game they showed. There's not a single game they showed, even the indie stuff where I'm like, oh, that looks like whatever, I'm not interested. No, they all looked amazing. I want them all. So, like, I thought the Microsoft press conference was killer, man. I gave it an 8 out of 10 yesterday. Like, the only way I felt it could have been better is if they would have told us a little more details on xCloud or xCloud and Scarlet. Otherwise, game-wise, it was a 10 out of 10. I freaking loved Microsoft's press conference. Obviously, Bethesda, they had a handful of really nice games, and then it just kind of was weird. A lot of fluff. It was an hour and a half long press conference that really only needed to be 30 minutes. That was probably the biggest issue with Bethesda's press conferences. They added a lot of fluff to get to an hour and a half when they didn't really need to do that. Some of the games that showed off I liked, but it's still way too much fluff. There's way too much dead air that wasn't showing games. I'm not saying you need to show games the entirety of a press conference, but like it should make up like 75% of what the press conference is, in my opinion, anyways. And then Digital Devolver, or Devolver Digital, I guess, they killed it. They only showed, like, I don't know, 5 games. Doesn't matter. They were hilarious. They were the most entertaining thing at E3. And I'm curious to see what Limited Run Games is going to do today, because they usually are the ones that do the extremely entertaining indie-style type of thing. So it's going to be crazy to see what they do. And they're right after the PC gaming show, so... Woo! It's going to be interesting. But I've been happy with these. Bethesda's been the only letdown for me. Everything else has been great. We've had 3 press conferences, and 2 of them have been awesome.
Devolver showed off 4 games.
4 games?
4 games.
Was it only 4?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They had that sizzle reel, remember?
But that sizzle reel was...
Where the marketing person was overloading them. What?
That was 1 game.
No.
It was 1 game.
No, it wasn't. Okay, when her brain was going to the point they had the 1 tear come down, it showed off 6 different games.
Everywhere on the internet said they showed 4 games.
Yeah, 4 new games. Remember I kept saying, oh, they're showing games they've already released? So they showed off more than that. And that dumb marketing sizzle reel, and they were trying to overload her brain with reveals, but there was nothing to reveal. It was just all old shit. That was the joke. Okay. Is that the marketing overloading her brain with shit.
They revealed 4 games. So
yeah, I know. It was only 4 games revealed. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Nate, where do you rank Bethesda and Devolver Digital out of 10? Devolver Digital is a 10. That's a 10 out of 10. I don't care that there's only 4 game reveals. 1, the games look good. And it's the most entertaining thing I have watched in years. So 10 out of 10. Bethesda. I'm going to give Bethesda a 3. Only because I liked some of the games they showed off. But it felt like there was over an hour of fluff that added nothing. That hour of fluff I can't forget. That hour of fluff drug that Bethesda rating down. Big time for me. What about EA? EA didn't have a press conference, so there's nothing to rank. EA just did like a Nintendo Treehouse kind of live stream, talked about some games, showed some trailers. It wasn't really the same thing as a normal press conference, so I don't count it. But I mean, Star Wars does look good, though. I mean, I think that's the big takeaway is that Star Wars looks good, so let's just hope they didn't screw it up some way that we're not aware of. Ooh, Borden Elwyn Forest. What the capital of the human... it's Stormwind. Stormwind. Got it. Answer is D. Stormwind. I saw Stormwind City List. I'm like, oh, it's a World of Warcraft question. I probably know it. Oh, yeah. I know World of Warcraft, baby. Let's go. Stormwind. This should be epic. EA crapped the bed with Nintendo. I mean, whatever. EA doesn't like Nintendo. What are you going to say about that? Missing Starfield. Here's the thing. It's a next-gen game, Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Next E3, Bethesda should kill it, because those 2 games should be there, plus whatever else. So, I'm confident Nintendo Direct will be very good tomorrow. I'm pretty confident it's going to be good, too. Dude, that Lego DLC for Forza looked amazing. That looks so good. What happened at Devolver Digital? Callum, do yourself a favor. At some point today, when there's a break between press conferences, go watch my 22-minute reaction to it. Let me tell you, it is the most entertaining thing that I've ever seen in E3. And I've seen some entertaining stuff. Limited Run Games has done some very entertaining type, similar type ones. But this was great. It was a complete comedy spoof They literally tore apart every single person who's ever done a live press conference. They even poked fun at Nintendo Directs. It was great. It was great. Just you have to see it. It was great. They poked fun at themselves. It was awesome. What is the PC Gaming Show? It is a PC press conference. PC Gaming press conference. Just like all the rest, Mark. This isn't new. It's been at E3 for like 4 years now or so. So, it's not an Epic game show. Epic is just the sponsor of the show. What you have to remember is the PC Gaming Show has a sponsor every year. It's had AMD. Obviously, PC Gamer is one of the sponsors every year. So yeah, Epic Games is just a sponsor. So they're the ones that paid the money to have their name plastered all over everything, basically. They show games, yes. Yes, Mark. They show games. There are game reveals at the PC Gaming Show. Should people hit the like button? Isn't there some sort of Patreon special you're running? I mean, there is. Whether or not you want to do it, I don't know. But why don't you smash that like button and share it with your friends? Why not? It gets more people watching. And if you guys want more people staring at me and staring at Eric, who's actually doing work, which is awesome. He did a little bit last night, too, so that lets you know Eric's feeling a little better.
Yeah.
A little, I said.
Not too bad.
Little better. So, yeah, it's after tomorrow you're going to be dead. I don't expect Eric to do much after tomorrow. Like, we'll get back and I'll be like, okay, now you can get all the news up from the day, and there's like 50 posts to get up, and he's going to be like, I'm just going to sleep. Then I'll have to do it, which is fine. I mean, I guess that's fine.
I'll help with what I can.
I know. You don't know. It's all about how his body reacts.
I'm also not as fast as getting these things up as you. So.
Well, no, but I'll be editing videos and shit. And what sucks is, when I go to render, my whole computer's locked up, so I can't do anything.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I suppose that's your CPU.
Yep. Anyways.
Alright, back to fries.
Yeah, let's go upgrade the CPU.
Back to fries.
Find a whole new computer. Probably could. Could build one.
Probably could find an easy, cheap laptop right there.
Yeah, just so I could get post out.
Just so you can post them.
All right.
We'll find a pawn shop. We'll get a cheap laptop and a microwave.
Oh yeah, as for the Patreon thing, from now until the end of E3, if you join our Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime at the $5 and up tier, Eric and I will make a dedicated video to you, thanking you for your patronage, sent privately to you. So yeah, that's kind of a neat little perk we're doing for any of our new patrons that join at the $5 and up tier all throughout E3. Just a special way of saying thanks and giving you guys a little bit of extra content. So we've already had a couple people take advantage of it. We'll see if we get any more. Who knows? Or we don't. Also, anyone who super chats and donates during any of the live streams that I do throughout E3, I will be doing swigs and shots of some wine. So we could end up having a grand old time by the time Square Enix comes around. If you guys really get me going. Because we got a full day of streaming today, so I will be sitting right in this chair, probably unable to feel my butt in 12 hours. Let me see here. You think Microsoft will be in the Nintendo Direct? Microsoft is advertising the Nintendo Direct. I wouldn't be surprised if like Minecraft Dungeons showed up or whatever. I know there's a trailer for it already up on the Nintendo YouTube channel. Will Valve tackle back at EA game? Nah, I doubt it. Valve's not going to do anything. Valve just thinks they're so big they don't have to respond. Let's go, baby. Got a minute and a half. Here we go. You guys hyped yet? For the Avengers project? Yeah, we should find that out. We should find out about that today, shouldn't we? About the Avengers project. That's gonna be pretty sick when we find out about that. That's from Square Enix, right? That was the Square Enix project, or was that Ubisoft? I think that was Square Enix. That was doing the Avengers project. Finally, have to do it, huh?
Yep.
"54 seconds." If you've ever been to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, Nate, E3 is like that, but without getting drunk. No, it's worse. New Orleans is worse. No, Mardi Gras in New Orleans is way worse than E3. It's not even... No. Mardi Gras is way worse. It's like 500,000 people at Mardi Gras. It's insane. And because you're getting drunk, it's more fun. Now, I have a lot of fun at E3. I get to play a lot of games. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of wasting time and standing in lines, but dude, I get to go and play games before all the rest of you, which that's pretty sweet. So, dude, Devolver's press conference is great. Here we go, PC Gaming Show. Here we go. What are they starting us with? Let me turn it up for you guys here.
This is the PC Gaming Show, a celebration of the most vibrant gaming platform. For the next 2 hours, you'll see all new gameplay footage, trailers, and interviews. Taking the stage today are first gameplay footage for Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2, Borderlands 3, the reveal of Evil Genius 2,
Yes!
Starmancer, Last Oasis,
Dude,
2 new games.
Evil
from
Genius
Golden
is such a good
Studios,
game.
Griftlands, Planet Zoo.
Ooh.
What's next for Terraria? Remnant from the Ashes. Mosaic. Warframe.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes!
Shenmue 3.
I want to see more of that so bad.
Reveal of
Shenmue 3
Planetfall
too?
2. El Hijo. Age of Wonders. Planetfall. And more. And now your PC Gaming
Heck yeah.
Show hosts, Day 9 and Frankie Ward.
Good morning, good morning. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PC Gaming Show. Yeah, yes.
They have like an actual
We're
runway
so
built.
happy you're here today. We have a great show for you lined up. We got 30 games that we're going to be showing off. 30. Some of them will be updates to existing franchises and titles. Others will be exclusive world first looks. Y'all ready?
All right, let's
Well,
go.
I first want to thank our sponsors for helping make this event possible. Without their support, this event would not happen each year. So thank you so much. Thanks to you for coming out. It's 10 a.m. in Los Angeles. Happy Monday, everyone. Best day of the week. Hello to all of you up in the balcony. And of course, thanks to you tuning in live from all over the internet, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're tuning in from, welcome. We're happy to have you. My name is Day 9. I'm one of your hosts for this event. Joining me is the fantastic Frankie Ward.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sean. Hello, everyone. Now, for you guys at home, for the first time, whatever platform you're watching on, we are going to be pulling your clever comments. Just remember that. I said clever comments from Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook throughout the show, and making you famous on the internet, on the screen. We're going to be sharing them live. And one of the things we're especially looking for are your questions for the Borderlands 3 team, because, Sean, you've got a mission to put their questions to the developers later.
That's right. Midway through this show, I'm going to be asking those questions to the creative director of Borderlands 3. Use hashtag PC Gaming Show, and we'll read them live. Until then, let's start the PC Gaming Show with our very first title from UK developer Rebellion. Several years ago, they announced that they were working on the follow-up to Evil Genius, a real-time
Yes.
evil layer simulator.
And
Here we
now,
go.
Rebellion is ready to reveal its nefarious vision for the project. So,
Yes.
PC Gaming Show, who's ready to stroke a cat menacingly? Here is the world exclusive reveal.
That
for
is
Evil Genius
totally
2
part of the game.
World domination.
Yes. I'm hyped for this game right now. Yep. No, it's not like Minecraft. It's more like Fallout Shelter, but there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it. Yes. It would have been nice to see some gameplay, but still. Oh, I can win beta access? I'm entering right now.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is the successor to one of the most beloved RPGs ever. And with me to talk about it, I have Brian Mitsoda and Cara Ellison from Hardsuit Labs. Now, Brian, you were a writer on the very first game, so what does it mean for you to finally get to work on the sequel?
It means that a lot of people have very high expectations, and we have to meet those.
Well, let's take a look at whether you are going to meet them, because we are going to take a look at the world's first gameplay footage.
I guess I have to be the one to tell you. You're dead. You're obviously new to this whole existence, but truth is, most of you types won't even make it a whole year. We have one rule. You don't break the masquerade.
The city. We're all fighting over scraps here.
Welcome to the first day of the rest of your death. Having fun yet?
Guys, what does it mean to be a vampire in this world?
So in the Empire, what it is, it's kind of a darker version of our world, and the vampires kind of need to keep their presence secret from humanity. So the vampires are kind of staying hidden in the shadows while also needing to feed on human beings and kind of manipulating us in order to get blood.
We're talking about feeding on human beings. I'm getting flashbacks to last year's show. Cara, it's not just a case, though, of sucking blood and filling up your health meter, is it? Actually, different types of blood do different things.
That's right. So we have the resonance system, which means that essentially vampires can kind of see the emotional resonance of human beings, like fear or desire, and then they can feed on those people to like feel the same things as human beings do, to feel more kind of alive. And that can give you like extra boosts in the game. And
there were some really interesting characters in that trailer as well. What kind of relationships are we going to be forming with them as the player?
Well, very fragile, very volatile relationships, very mature relationships. So it's going to be a fun time.
And one thing that was really intriguing to me when I was learning about this game is you don't get bitten and turn into Nosferatu, Dracula, or Brad Pitt. And to be honest, I think you should.
My kids called. I had to
the game, because then I'm definitely playing it. You actually have to adjust to your environment to becoming a vampire.
What game is this?
That's right. So essentially, in the game, when you were made as a vampire, sort of very young vampire, a lot of other vampires are made at the same time, in this thing called the Mass Embrace. And that means that essentially they're having a less lucky time than you in the world. You're having a relatively good time.
The Masquerade Bloodlines too. Okay.
They don't know what they're doing. They're going through vampire puberty on their own, and you might have a family. You might have, say, a wife and children, and you are morally objecting to drinking blood to survive. And so you might have a less good time, let's say, than the player is having. So you can find them throughout the world as well.
And Brian, the first game came out in 2004. You've been waiting 15 years for this. Any pressure?
Yeah, tons of pressure. But yeah, we're going to make it worth it.
Well, you know what? I think there are people around the world watching this, and of course the audience here, and they all can't wait to play this game. Can you wait, guys? Okay. So I think you've convinced everyone here now. When are we going to be able to play the game?
We're going Q1 next year.
Fantastic. And when can we learn more?
Bloodlines2.com.
Thank you so much, Brian and Cara. Good luck. Give it up.
She was so
guys.
excited about that. Bloodlines2.com.
Now, have you ever
The
wanted
PC
to play
gaming show has
Dwarf
always been
Fortress
so awkward.
in space? Starmancer is a space station sim from Ominux Games and Chucklefish. After a catastrophe on Earth,
Chucklefish,
humanity
nice.
has launched a desperate attempt to find refuge among the stars. Your task is to manage a colony capable of sustaining life, crafting components, controlling colonists, and sending out crews to mine asteroids. But when you're living in space, there can be big consequences for even the smallest mistakes. Let's take a look at the brand new gameplay for Starmancer.
Nice. I like Chucklefish. You've been asleep for a long time. Warning. Warning. Okay. Looks interesting. All right. Different kind of game.
Our next guests both started as modders, and now they each independently run their own studio. Let's welcome to the stage from Tripwire, John Gibson, and from Torn Banner, Steve Piggott.
Hey, Sean.
Now I understand. Both of you started as modders, working independently.
Please do not get
Tell me about
into
the collaboration that you started together.
Yeah, Steve. So we've known the tournament
into
guys for a long
console and
time,
PC wars.
even
And yes, I play
giving
PC
them some
games.
advice when they were modders, going commercial, helping them not make the mistakes that we made. And we've been friends, and we've always wanted to work together. And now we've sort of formed this independent, former mod team, professional super group to get an awesome game out to fans.
Yeah, and for us, this is a dream partnership as well. We've always been really close with Tripwire, and we really respect their games. We see them as one of the few studios that's bringing true innovation to the FPS genre, and that's what we're all about as well.
Well, let's take a look at this upcoming collaboration between Torn Banner and Tripwire.
Yeah, the hotel internet's great. That's why we stay at this hotel. Not only is it a decent hotel in a good location, the internet, we get 30 up and 30 down, which is fine for live streaming, press conferences and stuff. And that's great for hotel internet. Heck yeah. Oh! For the order! Heck yeah. First person castle sieges? Let's go! Yes! Dude, the first Chivalry was really good. Nice. Nice. Chivalry 2, baby. Heck yeah. I'm unarmed! You have no arms.
Oh, talk to me about Chivalry 2, Steve.
Well, Chivalry 2 is about bringing players into their favorite medieval movie battle scenes. And our flagship game mode, Team Objective, does that by having players complete medieval objectives like sieging castles, raiding villages, and
Yeah, you're not just going and standing in an area and then a bar fills up. You're, like you said, burning houses, killing peasants, you know.
Yeah.
Playing as peasants, getting killed.
It's really about letting the player experience every iconic moment of the era. And on top of that, this time around, we've increased the player count scale to about 2.5 times what the previous game was, the 64 players. And on top of that increased scale, we've added horses, which really allows us to add a lot of drama to the game and bring experiences like the Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones.
Don't worry, we'll ignore the last season. Just Battle of the Bastards is going to be in the game.
Yes.
All right, so I want to ask about the swordplay element to Chivalry 2. I mean, I know it's a really critical element.
Yeah, and this time around, we've completely revamped. I mean, we really view what we're doing here as bringing a true sequel in every sense.
Yeah.
We've attempted to completely revamp the combat, movement, and animation systems so that every swing, every action of the combat feels readable and fair, and also has the satisfaction and the weight that you would expect when two medieval knights in full armor are clashing.
Yeah, and it's very, very fluid and much more accessible than the previous game. And it's, you know, the pace is so much quicker. It was what I really enjoy when I'm playing it.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask about the fluidity, because in a lot of melee combat games, you hit a button and there's like a full animation swing and then you sort of reset. So it's kind of these discrete, chunky times. I understand that in Chivalry 2, the swordplay operates differently than that.
Yeah, we kind of think of it like when you're swimming, where you're kind of constantly using both arms at the same time. And a core part of our focus this time around has been making it so that players can fight multiple opponents at the same time.
Like 1-on-3, 1-on-4 situations?
Exactly, because that's fundamentally part of the becoming the ultimate warrior fantasy and achieving glory on the battlefield.
Well, I mean, I do have to ask, I'm talking about swordplay and mastery, but the original Chivalries, I mean, it's kind of like silly fun. Like, how do you balance the mastery with the fun element?
Yeah, our goal has always been to make it so that players can take the game as seriously as they want to and also as silly as they want to. We know that probably about half our audience plays.
No swearing, please.
And we love that.
At least half.
Yeah.
That's an important metric to track.
And the game has a huge influence from Monty Python as well. I mean, in the over-the-top voiceovers and the role-playing opportunities. I mean, the game is genuinely hilarious. As an example, you can beat a man with a chicken while quoting Shakespeare.
Like picking up a chicken as a weapon.
Yeah, physically
that's a
clubbing
mechanic.
him to death with a
Well,
chicken.
that's excellent. Well, I mean, I have to ask, when can people get their hands on Chivalry 2?
So Chivalry 2 is coming out early 2020, and it's coming first to the Epic Games Store.
Oh, look forward to checking it out in early 2020. Gentlemen, John Gibson and Steve Piggott with Chivalry 2. Thank you so much.
Mr. Dog.
We are just
This is your last warning, man. Stop spamming the stream with your F-Epic rhetoric, all right, man? You can let your opinions be known about Epic without having to spam the chat. Dude.
Coming up.
Trust me, everyone sees what you're saying.
Build a world for wildlife in Planet Zoo. From the creators of Darksiders, Remnant from the Ashes, Baldur's Gate 3, and more trailers, interviews, and gameplay footage.
Is it commercial time? Yay, commercials. I assume. Maybe I'm wrong. Blip blop. Collect trillions of blops. Climb the ranks. Endless upgrades. Endless fun. Ah, collect trillions of blops. Blip blop, blip blop. Blow your mind out now. Don't know if you want to blow your mind out. That doesn't sound like a good thing. Mosaic. Alright.
That was a brand new trailer for Mosaic, a dark and atmospheric adventure game coming later this year from developer Killbyte and publisher Raw Fury. So how are you guys enjoying it so far? There's been some swords, some space stations, vampire puberty. We're listening to your reactions to the PC Gaming Show throughout the entire broadcast, no matter what platform you're watching and ranting on, so keep them coming. Our next game is a ghost-themed multiplayer hide-and-seek game inspired by a popular mod. Charge up your proton packs and get ready for Midnight Ghost Hunt.
Coffee stain games.
The night falls, there's only you and me. When the night falls, you can count on me. Darling, if you only knew, it'll make you feel brand new. So just tell me, where are you? I got a big surprise for you.
What is going on? What is this? This looks interesting. So like a spirit ghost that takes over different objects. Midnight Ghost Hunt. Nice. That actually looks pretty interesting. At least they showed a little gameplay.
Joining me on the stage to talk about Midnight
I mean, here's the thing.
Hunt.
No one should ever be ashamed of what's shown in a marketing thing. Like,
Creative director, programmer,
it's kind of like, oh, Bethesda should be ashamed. Well, Bethesda maybe, not Bethesda fans. Same here. Like, why would PC gaming fans feel shame
What is Midnight Ghost Hunt all
over
about?
what's essentially a giant marketing event? We're not the ones making the
You
marketing.
can play as either as ghosts or ghost hunters, like a 4v4 format.
I see.
The ghosts can hide inside average everyday objects around the haunted house. The goal is to look like harmless furniture.
Yes,
but
Ubisoft's
on
at
the
one,
inside,
guys.
They're not so harmless ghosts as you saw.
I love how they have RGB fans in the background.
It's not about
Gotta have those RGB PC fans. You know, RGB, it makes you a better gamer. You're not a hardcore PC gamer without RGB.
Exactly. So the main objective of the ghosts is
I got
to
RGB
try to
on my
stay hidden
computer
as
too,
long as
but
they can
still,
until the
it's
time runs
funny.
out, until the clock strikes midnight.
Everything with
That
RGB
being
is
kind of the,
gamer.
Hour of the ghosts, basically.
Doesn't
They
help
can
in games at
fight
all,
back
but-
if they like, but in general, you know, they want to try to hide. But if there's a hunter kind of off by himself, he can quickly just hit him in the back of the head and knock him out real quick, and he has less hunters to deal with at that point.
See. Well, what's the identity of the hunters? I mean, we've been seeing furniture flying all over the place. What are the hunters doing?
So the hunters, it kind of can be divided into two different segments. The first part of the game is kind of almost like a detective game because they're sort of trying to figure out where the ghosts are hiding because it's not really obvious at first glance. So they've got gadgets like a footprint tracker, they've got like a radar like you saw, to try to narrow down
Hey, thanks,
where in
YouTube.
the haunted house these ghosts are
I appreciate
hiding.
the love, man.
As soon as the first ghost is found, though, it starts getting a bit more chaotic. There's ragdolls flying everywhere, and they have that cannon to really try to smash the ghosts into pieces. So those are kind of the two aspects of the ghosts.
I see. Well, talk to me a little bit about the inspiration for Midnight Ghost Hunt. I understand it's based on a Gary's mod called Prop Hunt.
Right. So that's definitely a big inspiration, but the big twist for us is that the props fight back. You saw the furniture, they hurl themselves at you, they knock you out, they send you flying. So it kind of almost becomes like this action hide-and-seek sort of mashup. You have a reason to be a little bit afraid of the things that you're hunting. So that changes up the dynamic a good amount, I think.
And I want to ask about when the clock strikes midnight. We saw the very spooky red color pop up. We didn't see what happens then. What's going on then?
So midnight, if even one ghost survives 4 minutes into the match, then you hear this ominous grandfather clock chime across the map. All the lights will actually flicker out. It'll get really dark and scary, and all of the ghosts that were destroyed actually return as vengeful spirits. They're a lot more powerful than before, and they glow a very brilliant red. So at this point, the tables have turned. The hunters are now the hunted, and they just need to try to work together to stay alive long enough for their evac to come, which is another 4 minutes or so. Usually the ghosts win when it gets to midnight.
Are you talking about like 90% of the time?
Like 90, yeah, usually because the ghosts are so overpowered at midnight. The hunters are doing whatever they can to try to prevent midnight from even occurring by destroying all of the ghosts and clearing the house, basically.
Well, awesome. When can people get the chance to try out Midnight Ghost Hunt?
So we'll be running an alpha event later in the summer. You can sign up at midnightghosthunt.com. I'd also like to give a shout out to our Discord, discord.gg/midnightghosthunt. Later in the summer, we'll be giving out keys on our Discord as well as on our main website.
Well, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Malone from Vaulted Sky Games. For our next title, we got Frankie up in the balcony, and if I understand correctly, Frankie, this is a sequel.
You do understand correctly, Sean, yes. It's a big sequel to a small indie game. Unexplored 2 is a procedural adventure, a roguelike that challenges you to fight, to be clever, and to solve its mysteries. Explore a beautiful world, engage with its creatures, and befriend its people. Search for magic lakes and ancient statues until you die. And die again. This is Unexplored 2.
World exclusive. Better than world premiere. What? What? Huh?
You said it's better than this. Is it though?
Well, because at least they're saying it's just exclusive, like they're exclusive to the show. Not, you know. Better than world premiere. What was the one? Jeff Keighley used to say, God. Something, man. Now I'm forgetting the term that guys, what's the term? It was something like that Jeff Keighley used to use all the time. Probably still uses for the Game Awards. About every time, like acting like every single game he has is like this huge deal. Massive reveal, when it's often not. It's something like world premiere or something. I can't remember. It's something. Every time I hear things like this, I just keep thinking of Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards.
One of the biggest bang for your buck that you can get when building a new rig is investing in a new monitor. And here to talk about a groundbreaking new display is Samsung's Dean Dalcero. Welcome.
Hey, I told you the technology gets talked about here.
Samsung C27 RG
240 hertz?
Well, let's take a look.
What? 240? I mean, you're not gonna be able to really see it because we don't have 240 hertz displays. G-Sync, okay. Okay. It's a pretty standard contrast ratio. Curved gaming monitor. You're gonna say a price?
Seen the video?
Monitors are always
I gotta
expensive.
start asking. Talk to me about some of those juicy
Nice
features
monitors,
and
anyways.
So it's a 240 hertz curved gaming panel. We believe it's a world first. So you have lag-free and tear-free performance. And we think that the curve, its 1500 R radius, is going to be a very immersive experience you wouldn't get from a traditional flat panel.
And I wanted to ask a little bit about some of the color specs.
Sure, it's a 3000:1 contrast ratio, so you get those deeper blacks, brighter whites.
Right.
Hopefully you'll see your enemies first before they see you in the dark scenes.
Yeah, and I understand also.
How can run 240 FPS? A lot of people. Ever play Counter-Strike?
Well, since this is the PC gaming show,
Counter-Strike is still really popular, and even on max settings for a lot of people, you can get up into 200 plus frames. So yes, a lot of people can run 200 plus frames.
The speed and the performance, but ultimately
It's huge in League of Legends.
Really gonna benefit.
Right.
Counter-Strike, any sort of online multiplayer game on PC, you'll cut back the settings to get maximum frame rates because it actually gives you an advantage.
So it expands our gaming lineup to 8 models. Yeah.
Because when you said 400, I mean, that's the 27 inches.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so our gaming lineup expands.
Yeah, 1500R.
Range from 24 all the way up to
1500R.
49
That's
dual
huge.
QHD. Check out samsung.com/gaming240 or see us in the back of the room for more info.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're going to charge for it, though.
There. You can go there for it.
Curved, 1500R.
It's not 4K.
Not for that price point.
240. How much?
Well, I want to let you know that we have all sorts of great presentations and games coming up. Let's look at what's coming up in the PC Gaming Show.
Would have been nice to get a few more specs on that thing.
Trailers
Didn't give enough
before
specs.
seen footage, including Gearbox answers burning questions about Borderlands 3. The next game.
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up.
Entertainment.
CS:GO for 240 hertz.
Galaxy, a new
I was bringing that up as an
in
example of
Valve
where a 240 hertz monitor
and
can actually be a
more.
huge advantage. Be nice to have.
And now the PC Gaming Show presents What's Next from Funcom.
I don't know. I didn't hear a price. Did you guys hear a price on that monitor? Was it 600?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the warm applause.
I don't know. They didn't give a resolution.
For all of us at Funcom to be here at
Advanced
the PC
Media Network. They
Gaming
didn't give a
Show
resolution on
for the
it, so
very
I don't know.
first time ever.
I'm hoping it's at least
Naturally,
1400
we would like
or
to
14. I'm sorry,
show some of the cool
1440p.
stuff that we've been working on.
That would be nice.
So,
Because
without
you're right,
further
240,
ado,
1080p
here are some of the
monitors are
games
everywhere.
coming for 2019.
But if it's a curved 1440, now you're talking.
Something strange is going on all across the zone. I don't fear nothing until now.
Oh yeah, this game. New story. New mutant.
A lot's happened since you've been traveling, Con. We could use your skills.
Coming to Switch, by the way, guys.
Each other's backs, right?
Look at that. There has been something for Switch in every single press conference. Mutant Year Zero coming to Switch. Looks sick. Conan Unconquered. Hey! This reminds me of RTSs I played back in the day. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. It's like... Ah! Moons of Madness. Halloween. Coming out on Halloween. That actually looks kind of interesting.
Who would have thought? My son, off to fly among the stars.
Funcom.
Please
It's
welcome to
400.
stage
The new monitor is
founder and director
400.
of Mighty Kingdom, Philip Mays.
What does it have the resolution listed at all? I hope it's more than 1080.
So yeah, at Funcom we've been doing our own games for over 26 years now. But recently we had the great pleasure to be working with some other very talented
1080p.
developers
Damn.
and help them publish their games. And on that note, I'd like to introduce
Yeah, I get that it's
Phil
curved,
Mays.
but
He is founder of Mighty Kingdom, a studio out of Australia, who has been working with us on something
4K 240 is a long way
a little
away.
different.
I mean, even 4K 120 is uncommon.
So on April 1st this year, we put out a
I
little
mean, it
trailer
exists,
for
but-
something called Conan Chop Chop. And considering the date, it was perhaps no surprise that people decided that that was an April Fool's joke. So yeah, we have a little surprise for you. Check this out.
World exclusive. Quite possibly the best Conan game yet. Okay. What the heck? I love the marketing descriptors from various people in the media. Conan, chop chop. Yeah. Hey, that's coming to Nintendo Switch too. Look, another Switch announcement.
So
I told you, there was a Switch announcement in every press conference this year. It's happening.
Action adventure game. It's very real, and it's coming to PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch on September the 3rd this year. It's 2019. We also have a playable version here at E3 at our demo room, so if you want to give stick figure Conan a try, then please don't hesitate to drop by. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Last Oasis is a nomadic survival game set in a post-apocalyptic future where the Earth has stopped rotating. The last humans need to outrun the blazing sun in massive open-world environments. Good times. But cheer up, Sunshine. This is one of the most original-looking multiplayers we've seen, with interesting ideas underneath. A player-driven economy and some truly incredible death machines. Coming to early access on Steam on July 15th, let's take a trip to the Last Oasis.
See? There's Steam announcements. Just because Epic sponsored it doesn't mean it's only Epic stuff.
We must move forward or die beneath the sun.
There was a couple Switch announcements, Phil. Probably not stuff you're interested in indie game stuff that's coming to Switch. And PC, obviously. This reminds me of Monster Hunters for some reason. I mean, I know it's not Monster Hunter, but I get a Monster Hunter vibe watching this. There we go. Yeah. What? Braveheart? Yeah. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? Vast Oasis? Nice. Last Oasis. Got it. Just a funky logo. Is it StarCraft? Age of Wonders Planetfall. Okay. The world is up for grabs. It's another, Why am I drawing a blank on it? I literally own... A game that's similar to this, but more based on real life instead of fantasy stuff. I'm drawing a blank on it right now. I'm gonna be so mad when I remember too, because I know I just played it last week. Civilization 5, Civilization 6. It's a game kind of like that, but in the fantasy world.
The name of the game is Age of Wonders Planetfall, a 4X strategy game, and joining me on the stage to talk about it is the game director, Leonard Sass, and principal gameplay developer, Tom Bird. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Good to be here.
Thanks.
So, Leonard, just give us the gist of what Age of Wonders Planetfall is all about.
Sure. Age of Wonders is a turn-based strategy game where you play as one of the survivors of a shattered galactic empire. At the start of the game, you choose or create your own faction.
Yeah.
And they include the Vanguard Expeditionary Forces, who are in cryosleep when everything went to hell. There's scavenging cyborgs, or the Amazon bioengineers who ride dinosaurs into battle.
Yeah. You know, I want to ask, because there's a pretty broad range of 4X strategy games, to give a sense of what the gameplay is, I just want to start from the beginning of a game. What happens when you first land on the planet?
Well, each race has their own spaceship. The spaceship comes down onto the planet. The planet is where the entire game takes place. And that spaceship will then transform into your capital colony, where your entire empire begins, your sort of attempt to take over the world. Around you, you've got a number of sectors, and each of these sectors has a little story. Well, not most of them. So maybe you'll find a genetics lab which is still full of horrible mutant creatures, an entertainment complex overrun by horrible robot monsters, a temple with holes in the sky and horrible demons who come and get you.
And I did see in the trailer dinosaurs with lasers, correct?
Dinosaurs with lasers.
Perfect.
Cats with lasers. No, sorry, no cats with lasers.
I'm so sorry to disappoint all of you. No cats with lasers. You have to settle with dinosaurs.
No cats with lasers.
You know, I saw the expansive tech tree show up in the game briefly, and I know that growing resources and tech is a huge part of strategy games. How does that function?
Right, so part of these tech trees come from your origin race. They sort of represent the past of where you came from. They include new units, new modules for your units, like jetpacks for your troopers, orbital laser cannons you can launch from space, social doctrines, it's not all about war. And then the second part of your tech tree comes from your secret technology, and that's all about the future of your faction. So you can create like a combination between man and machine or man and computers. Others include doomsday technologies that allows you to infect the entire population with alien brain-eating parasites or win the game by splitting space-time.
I love how many details you're giving me of the horrors that await on the planet.
The future is not a pretty place.
Well, I want to ask about some of the combat that we saw, because in a lot of strategy games, the combat can be very brief. It just, shows two armies pinging off each other. But I understand that the tactical layer is quite rich.
Right, so when combat starts, you'll see, like on the world map, maybe like your little sort of space lab or something like that. When you go into combat, you will zoom all the way in, and you will be inside the lab. You'll see all the pipes and all of the goops flowing around. All of your units, which you've been putting together and built, are now deployed. In turn-based combat, you can move them into cover, use their abilities, shoot laser cannons. Maybe you've chosen advanced, so you've got like a bunch of space dwarves in little metal suits that dig holes in the ground, like shoot from the holes. Maybe you've chosen the Kirko, sort of horrible alien bug monsters. They run forwards and slash people and puke acid on them, that kind of thing.
I mean, how long do some of these battles wind up lasting?
It depends. A short battle can be maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but at the end of the game, you've got a massive siege with like 20 units on your side, 20 units on their side. You've got orbital cannons blasting holes in the world, and that can maybe take 30 minutes.
Well, talk to us about when we can play the game.
Okay. The game is due this August 6th. It's going to be available on PC, multiple platforms, consoles, and it's available for pre-order now.
Well, lovely.
All right.
Hey, what's that URL?
It's aow-planetfall.com.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's less than 2 months away. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me up on the stage.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you for sharing the horrors of the future. And for our next game, Frankie, I have to ask you, what year is it?
Why? The year is 1946, Sean, my dear boy.
Oh, my
Europe
God.
lies in ruins, torn apart by the satanic
Why? The year is 1946, my dear boy.
A brave band of heroes cast the fury into hell, but little do they know, the nightmare is far from over. Achtung!
At least she's getting really into it, you
is
know?
the world-exclusive reveal of the next shooter from the makers.
I mean, she's not a bad presenter. It's just... I just want to know who writes this stuff that she's reading. Mind viewer!
Mature.
You must take him out. Not actual game footage. How many times have we seen that at the C3? Not actual game footage. Oh, so how does the game work? Like, I'm all for cutscenes and stuff, but like, show some gameplay too. Yeah, she's a good presenter. I got no problem with her. The way she delivers things, it's fine. It's just... could go with a little bit of a better script, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just a script. She actually she presents things confidently and like she's with a level of an excitement that doesn't sound like it's fake. But the lines she has to read are really bad. Like, really bad. Like, I get there's a point of, like, cringe to be funny, but this is cringe to be serious, and that doesn't work. So... every conference, no footage.
Just die. Come
She reminds me of a young Gina Davis from Beetlejuice because of the dimples. Well, it also helps she's got the curly, perm going on too. She's got a total 80s look to her. This year, anyways. There's no point to even watch this. Like, it tells you nothing. Is it a first-person shooter? Is it a third-person shooter? Is it a top-down strategy action game? Is it a this? Is it a that? I have no idea. Dude, Devolver to me wasn't even cringe. It was just straight-up comedy. Comedy gold. It was awesome.
Later on the PC gaming show, a love letter to classic JRPGs.
Felt like I was watching a Saturday Night Live segment.
A surreal
what it felt like.
adventure set before, during, and after the Big Bang. Baldur's Gate 3, and more.
Oh, I can't wait for some Baldur's Gate, baby. That's what I'm most excited for from this show, is that. To see a little bit more of that than we've seen so far.
For nearly 100 years, the root have ravaged the earth. An unending assault without...
There's dragons that can somehow fly even though the wings are gone.
To a hatred that we
Why?
do not understand.
Video games.
This evil will consume our world and the countless worlds beyond.
No!
Unless
Consume our world.
you rise to meet it. A trial by fury and blood. You seek the source of death itself. Prepare yourselves. They are here.
I did not see any Elite Dangerous updates yet.
Joining
no.
me on the stage to talk about Remnant from the Ashes. In that trailer, we got the chance to see so much new gameplay footage and new environments. Let's welcome the CEO of Gunfire Games, David Adams.
What's up, David Adams?
So, David, I want to ask right away, for those who are unfamiliar with Remnant from the Ashes, what kind of game is it?
So Remnant's a co-op action shooter set on an apocalyptic Earth and across a bunch of cool fantasy worlds.
And I mean, in that trailer, we got the chance to see a huge variety of different environments. Like, what are these different places? Who's the player in this story?
So as a player, you're on sort of a Odyssey-like quest to save the world, and we really wanted to have a bunch of different cool locales that you go to just to experience a bunch of different stuff. And you start on Earth, but it rapidly changes very quickly as you get into the game.
And one thing that we've talked about before is that replayability is a huge focus of the game, that you could play through it 10 times and still be seeing new bosses, new monsters, new locations. How exactly does that work?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest features of the game is the dynamic generation system. So we generate the maps, the enemies, the quests, NPCs, bosses, everything.
You've built those all by hand, right?
Yeah, it's all hand scripted, but the system takes all the pieces and stitches it together. So you might play the game and come into work and say, hey, I talked to a giant tree and fought a dragon boss, and I'll be like, I met a guy in a helicopter, an old guy in a helicopter, and killed a tree ant. And we'd have completely different experiences playing the same game.
And you just have to keep going through and eventually explore what all the possibilities are.
Yeah, you can play the game over and over again to see the stuff. You can jump into your friend's world to experience the content in their world, and that's a big part of the game, just jumping in and seeing what you get.
Well, I want to ask about loot, which is, I understand, a big part of the game. How does it function alongside this ever-shifting gameplay experience?
Yeah, the loot in the game is all legendary items, and it's tied into the dynamic generation. So if you fight a boss or meet an NPC or get a cool, unique side quest, it generally coincides with a cool, unique item. It might be a boss weapon or a magical item or armor. So if you play the game and you get all completely different events, you'll have different equipment than I have.
And in the trailer, I also saw that there were 3 people walking through these, and you mentioned the co-op experience. How does co-op function in the world?
So the game's full co-op from beginning to end. You can jump in at any point, and the game's definitely slower paced, more difficult. I mean, you will die a lot in this game, so
awesome.
There's a huge advantage to bringing your friends to come in there and help you take down bosses or fight off different events or just generally.
I mean, this game looks interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a big fan of Bloodborne and Dark Souls, I'm really looking forward to Remnant from the Ashes. What's the release date, and where can people go for more information?
So Remnant's coming out August 20th on
awesome.
PC and Xbox and PS4, and if you pre-order the game now, you can actually get in early and start playing the game August 16th.
Well, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, David Adams from Gunfire Games.
Loot you get
Thanks for talking to us about
boxes.
Remnant. And as we mentioned earlier, keep those questions coming. I will be asking on stage the creative director of Borderlands 3 everything you want to know. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, just use hashtag PCGamingShow. And until that time, let's talk about our next title. This one was announced 2 years ago at the PC Gaming Show here. It's a game from Clay Entertainment called Griftlands. It's changed quite a bit in the last 2 years. It's now a deck-building roguelike where you don't just fight, but you also negotiate.
That's like completely
your way
different
through a
than what it was when they
broken-down
announced it.
sci-fi world. It's going to be available on the Epic Game Store in one short month on July 11th in alpha. Let's take a look at some of the footage of what you'll be playing.
Because the game wasn't like this before. It was more like a Fire Emblem game before. When they originally announced this game, it was a Fire Emblem grid-based strategy game. Now it's a card-based combat game. I mean, it still looks decent, but it's just interesting when he mentions, it's changed a lot from what it was when it was announced. Yeah, it has.
From the makers of the brilliant
But-
Planet Coaster, please welcome Piers Jackson and
I mean, it
Lisa
still
Lawrence
looks
from
interesting.
Developments. Now, Piers, what kind of zoo are we going to be running here?
So Planet Zoo is a new management
Yes!
system from us. It involves you building and looking after a modern zoo. And
Yes!
you look after
A zoo builder.
the most authentic animals we believe you've ever seen
Yes!
in a video game. Each of our animals are unique. They have their own needs, their own desires, and their own behaviours.
Yeah.
They interact with each other and react with the world you build around them.
Oh,
Today,
I've been wanting a
for the very
good zoo
first
builder.
time, we're really excited to show everyone here our gameplay video and to announce our launch date.
Well, fantastic. Let's buy the world's largest family pass and take a look inside.
Come on. Please be good. I might get this for PC even if it doesn't come to Switch. I've been waiting for a replacement for Zoo Tycoon for so long. You know, guys that clean up poop. That's new. This looks really good. I mean, the graphics are good, but I want to see how the menu system works and for building things. But it looks good. PC. I think it's PC
Lisa,
only.
I love some of the animal shenanigans here. I mean, hippos pooing. Yeah. Adorable baby elephants. It's absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to play it. But before we saw the trailer, Piers mentioned this is a modern zoo, but what exactly does that mean?
So nowadays when you go to the zoo, you're not just going to see all the lovely, pretty animals. You go there, you want to be, learning about conservation, you want to learn about the research that they're doing, you want to be educated, and these are all things that you're going to be able to do in Planet Zoo. And these ideas of the modern zoo is really what we take to heart, and we're going to be promoting, the health and the welfare of your animals as the most important thing to do.
And Piers, when can we see more gameplay, and when are we going to be able to get our hands on it ourselves?
So we're obviously demoing the game all this week at E3, but most people aren't going to be able to see that. So we've recorded our presentation. Lisa's done a fantastic voiceover for it, and we'll be releasing that onto Frontier's YouTube channel. That goes live this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Well, fantastic. I cannot wait to watch. Thank you so much for joining us, Piers and Lisa, everyone. Next up, we have a very special guest all the way from Japan.
Who's coming from Japan?
Please welcome to the stage gaming industry legend and Shenmue creator, Yu Suzuki.
Shenmue! Heck yeah!
That is
Shenmue.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the stage is a
Some
legend
Shenmue
of
action. Here we
Japanese
go.
game development. It's Mr. Yu Suzuki.
Hello, everyone.
In addition to being the brains behind the following games, Hang On, Space Harrier, Outrun, Afterburner, Virtual Racing, and Virtual Fighter, Yu-san also created the Shenmue series, and he's here to talk about Shenmue 3 right now. Take it away, Yu-san.
この場に立てて光栄です。Standing on the stage today. それと20年支えてくれたファンの皆さん、ありがとう。I just want to say thank you to all the fans supporting me for the long 20 years. Thank you very much. The wait is nearly over.
That's right. Let's take a world exclusive look at Shenmue 3.
Honestly, I don't think your kung fu is strong enough.
Grandmaster, I...
A long time ago, martial arts were bad, but humans are interesting creatures. They practiced in secret, away from prying eyes, and became stronger. One even practiced atop this very boat. Nam-Tren survived the ban and was passed on in this way.
What did you say to me? Stop it.
They threaten and extort money from shop owners, get drunk by noon, and cause trouble. Everyone in town is afraid of them.
They are heartless. Hey, wait right there. Okay.
This is him, the Japanese guy who got in our way.
You've got some guts to barge in here on your own.
November 19th. There it is.
I know so many people have been waiting for Shenmue 3. I would like to once again thank you so much. Thank you, Yu-san, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Now our next title is near and dear to my childhood heart. It's based upon a game I grew up playing called Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Let's take a look at an upcoming collaboration between Coffee Stain Studios and Lava Potion.
Coffee Stain presents. What's the name of the studio? Coffee Stain.
The essence within you, it is who we are. In dead or in living, it's near and it's far. In human and beasts of the land, it flows through the forests, it breathes in sand.
Was it a tower defense game? No, maybe not.
Unleashed on them all, so in these final hours, we'll raise and rebuild to take back what was ours.
Classic adventure strategy. Interesting.
The name of the game is Songs of Conquest, and here to join me in talking about it is the lead designer from Lava Potion, Carl Toftfell. Hey, Carl.
Hi, hey, thanks.
I mean, let's just start off for anyone who maybe hasn't played the Heroes of Might and Magic series. What is Song of Conquest all about?
It's all about, well, you kind of start out with in the town that you just saw in the end of the trailer. And from there, you recruit your wielders. It's what we call our commanders. And you recruit an army, and then you kind of send off your wielders on an adventure. And they go exploring the world. They pick up resources to flag mines. And with those resources, you upgrade your town so you can get more stuff. And that's kind of what you do. Adventure and strategy combined.
Yeah, and, you know, I know that part of the core loop is obviously get the resources to build up the township, but for what reason? Armies, man. Talk to me about those juicy battles.
Yeah, so the battle, just like the whole game, is turn-based. So you go into combat, you bring all your troops in, and you start by deploying them, and then all the troops have different stats, like offense.
Yeah, strategy games like this are always cool. I grew up on games like this. I mean, this is a lot of like Heroes of Might and Magic, like they brought up, and I haven't played a Heroes of Might and Magic game in forever.
And Griffins and so on. Yeah, and all
These
those
are
things.
this
And,
is
you know,
right in the
as
wheelhouse
someone who
of
just loves the
stuff
Heroes
I
of
grew
Might
up
and
with
Magic
back in the
series. I know
90s.
that you have translated a lot of the gameplay elements into Songs of Conquest, but what are some of the modern elements that you're bringing in?
Well, there's a lot of it, but I mean, one of them is our magic system. We call it the essence. So basically, in the Songs of Conquest universe, everything has an essence within there. It's sort of like the soul. So your troops, they have an essence. And to do magic, you need to bring the troops with the right essence, with your wielders.
Oh, I see.
So if you want to like make your troops go faster, you need to bring a troop that has that essence, like cavalry.
And maybe to ask a basic question, what if my opponent kills that cavalry?
Then you can't do the magic. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're fighting someone, you kind of have to like weigh the pros and cons of what to kill off. Like, do you want to destroy their magic or their powerful troops?
Where can people go to get more information? And as always, when's it coming out?
Late 2020.
Oh, it's quite a ways off.
It's quite a ways off, but you can go to songsofconquest.com and sign up for alpha, and then you can play earlier.
Well, as you know, I'm really looking forward to playing it, Carl. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, our next title is an update to a popular co-op game. Let's see what's in store for Vermintide 2.
Vermintide 2. Oh. Vermintide versus Warhammer.
You just saw the reveal of the new PvP mode coming to Vermintide 2, which turns the Warhammer Fantasy cooperative game into something even more brutally competitive. It looks deliciously vile, and surely dismembering Skaven is so much more satisfying when you know you're going ham on a fellow player, making him or her cry little baby rat tears behind their computer screen. You can sign up now for the Vermintide 2 versus beta at vermintide2.com/version.
That's the reason Shenmue 3 got delayed. I highly doubt Epic Games had anything to do with the delay.
Orbiting Mars,
of
whose
Shenmue
ultimate
3.
purpose is to terraform the planet.
Epic Games Store
starting from a
existed
single
last year
drone in
too.
your landing
so
site and turning the planet into a flourishing second home for
That's a pretty
humanity.
weird
courtesy of developer
reasoning
Dawn
to think.
Industries and publisher Raw Fury. Here's a first ever look at
Especially considering that it's just a storefront. The game runs on PC.
As we all know, reaching the Red Planet was not humanity's greatest achievement. Transferring the complexity of the human mind to machines was. So they can succeed where we fail. So they can build us a home on that distant, dusty rock. Today, Amy reaches Mars and begins their mission. Amy.
A lot of people hate on Epic because it's just the cool thing to do.
Of course,
Yeah,
I'm with
their
you, Houston.
their store was gathering information they shouldn't. There's people who don't like that the thing that they're buying all these exclusive games because Steam Master Race forever. It's the same kind of crap you see with consoles, where Xbox or PC or PlayStation 4 or Switch forever. Got a fanboy out. There's legitimately Steam fanboys that just outright hate Epic for even having a store, let alone having exclusives, let alone having any reason that they feel they need to use something besides Steam.
Director and co-founder Patrice Desolé. Welcome, Patrice.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy.
I think it's all dumb.
Been waiting 10 years.
Yes.
And they already fixed their Epic Game Store thing. It doesn't sweep through the files on your computer anymore. So I don't know what else there is to complain about other than you just
I needed a game,
not liking
an open
Epic.
world game in which you can do a lot of things. You need a character in a 3D environment at first. And I said, oh, I'm the historical guy. I'm the historical dude, so I need an historical period. They say, oh, let's go back at the very beginning. It'll be easier to do.
Yeah, but they fixed the
Because I won't have
spyware,
to build a
Advanced Media
city,
Network.
I won't have to build technology.
Then
It's
again,
not
my
what
entire
you're
PC is spied on by Google
because
anyways, so
we built Africa 10 million years
like
ago.
I really care.
And that's
Me even connecting to the internet gave up all my privacy.
I mean, how
So
have you turned those themes into gameplay?
Well, you play our last common ancestor, right, of all the big apes, and then you have to explore your environment, and eventually you expand your territory, you expand your clan, because you're not playing that one badass character. You play a group of badass character. And eventually you evolve into different species.
I know.
Up until Lucy,
Yeah, man.
Australopithecus, roughly 2 million.
Steam used to do some pretty nasty things too to your computer.
Had a lot
They should have
more
never did
issues
either.
to deal
It's
with
just
than we do today.
welcome
There's
to
gonna
the
be a lot more
world
dangers
of
in this world. So tell me a bit more
computer
about
software
Well,
programs
it's all about
and the
from a
internet.
prey to a predator.
What?
Basically, at the beginning of the game, everybody's there to kill you and devour you. And,
Yeah,
and,
well, that's
and
what
basically at the
that's
end,
what happens
it's pretty
because
much you're the predator.
It's like Google's doing a bunch of stuff. Eventually, they'll get called out for it. They'll stop doing it. Then wait 10 years, and people will forget that they did it either. Now, the next person that does it's the big evil. And it's like,
Curiosity, you need to explore because
call it out. It
I made a game
changes.
about characters
Move
and
on.
you needed to follow the story I wrote for you. This time, you're basically writing the story. Right? There's no story per se inside. It's not about going and see mission givers. It's
I'm
not
literally
about
using
looking at the
Google right
mini-maps
now,
and the little
Edaz.
dots. It's
You're
about
using
you,
Google right
hey,
now,
Homo
too.
sapiens.
You're on
Can you
YouTube.
survive like our ancestors did? And that's the
YouTube is
question
owned by
that
Google. I don't.
matters. It'll be
Yes.
for you
Let
to
me see.
answer
Do I
that
use
question
Google? I don't
August
know.
27th.
You're literally watching my live stream on a
PC
Google
for-
product.
was
Am I
gonna
using
ask you when
Google?
we can see it, and you answered my question first. Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
getting good at
Patrice.
this.
As Patrice says, Ancestors will be released August 27th, and you can learn more at Ancestors Games.
Yeah, Windows 10 too. You got Windows. You got Microsoft collecting data. That's why I said I've given up on privacy when it comes to anything I put on a PC. I have certain files that are completely protected, and I keep them off my PC. So, yeah, on that, whatever's on my phone, on my PC, wherever, I know that it's pretty much public domain at this point. I just don't care. I don't keep anything on there that I'd be ashamed if it got out, so. I protect everything that I care if I the data gets out. It's why, since I have gone to LA, my ads on YouTube have shifted from Leinenkugels, which is from my hometown, to In-N-Out, which is in LA, but not in my hometown. I wonder how Google knew I was in LA. They're always tracking. Since when did Google buy YouTube? Oh my, dude. Edaz. Google's owned YouTube for like almost, God, 7 years, 8 years? It's been a long, like, what? Let me see. The exact year that Google bought YouTube. They bought YouTube. It's been a long time. Gosh. 2006. They bought YouTube back in 2006. Basically, the entire time you've used YouTube, Google has owned it. Just so you know. It's been a long time. 13 years. Yeah, I know. It quickly became the number one video program when Google bought it.
2005 and Google bought it in October of 2006. So just a little bit over a year and a half.
Please welcome to the stage Loring Lee, founder and CEO of Dragon Nest.
Indeed, Auto Chess has turned out to be
I bought Ouya for $5.
sensation.
Well, that's $5 you'll never get
Hundreds
back.
of thousands, millions of players getting a taste of it. And here to talk about its
some lag.
coming to PC is Loring Lee. Take it away, Loring.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Loring Lee. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
I'm the CEO and the founder of Dragon's Game. Dragon's
Yes.
Game is a game developer and publisher. Comes from China. I'm so happy to be here today on this stage to introduce our game, Auto Chess, to all of you.
Auto Chess.
This is really
Does the game just play
moment
itself?
for us. As the trailer says, this is a real engaging game of auto chess. Dragonstone now is working with the creator of auto chess, Jodo Studio. We are working together to bring.
I mean, it's not like
auto
YouTube
chess
was that great back then.
to the world,
Yeah, man,
both
it
on
really
PC
wasn't.
and,
It was just
mobile. So
the
that
best of the
everyone
crap
from
back
anywhere
then.
with any device can enjoy. the
YouTube has
sweet
owned it for almost, or Google's owned it for almost all of
Auto
YouTube's
chess.
existence except for one.
Now we are building the PC version with
I'm gonna see if I can
by using the gaming
do something about the skipping here. Give me a second. I'm gonna refresh this.
quickly and efficiently. And today, I'm very glad to announce the PC version of Auto Chess will be coming to the Epic Game Store. I look forward. I look forward to all of you playing Auto Chess.
I love how excited that he said that.
Later this
It
year.
will come to the Epic Game Store.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Loring Lee.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing the news with us. Once again, Auto Chess, if you have not played it, you must check it out. It is so fun. Our next title with Frankie up above, I understand is an inspired indie game.
We'll find out, Sean, because one of the things we love about PC gaming is the way that game creators from all over the world can draw inspiration from one another's work. Chris Tales is a great example of that, a gorgeous indie love letter to classic JRPGs developed by a team in Colombia. Chris Tales' spin on the genre brings a unique perspective that lets you see the past, present, and future on one screen at the same time. So you'll see the future change based on your decisions in real time. Here's the world-exclusive reveal of Chris Tales.
World exclusive premiere. Yeah, the Matt Booty. There was a guy on this PC gaming show today that had a name of. God, what was his last
If you
name?
saw what was, what is, and what would be.
Oh no, I'm forgetting. It was. I didn't say anything about it. Something Bigot.
Would you change it?
His last name was Bigot.
Would you make the hard decision?
Can you imagine having that as your
Would
name?
you be strong enough
I mean, I know it's not your fault. It's family name, but man, I just know the kind of things they. I mean, people said things with my last name. My last name's not even that funny.
If you learn from the past and act in the present, you can rewrite the future.
She's forcing. Oh, she is forcing a smile. That's for sure. Who could forget Sir Booty? Jesus. Carry On looked really good.
In PC gaming, it's not the size
I
of
can
your
agree.
weapon.
I don't know if it's the
how
best
you
game
use
shown
it.
so far.
And I'm holding one of the.
It was a really
well,
good
quite
game.
frankly, it's a bit average, isn't it? It's
How long
just
is
your
left? I
average,
believe this
it's
thing
not
runs
really
right
bad.
up until limited
It's
run
one of the
games.
ridiculous
We'll probably
alien
cut it
weapons
off a
found
few
next
minutes
in
early,
Valfaris.
so I can
A
actually get the
brutal,
limited run
heavy
game stream up
metal-infused 2D
for you guys.
action platformer inspired by true old school
Yeah, look at that
graphics like
thing.
Contra and Turrican. Assuming the role of
It's a beast.
Ephraim, players must
Have you seen the
blast
size of my
their way
gun?
through the doomed citadel of Valfaris, overcoming its deadly
Hello.
environmental enemies before challenging the arcane evil at its very heart.
I know I can get my name
Get
legally
ready
changed.
to
I'll do
rip
that
the
when we get
galaxy
married.
a new wormhole from publisher Big Sugar. This is Valfaris.
Valfaris. God, I love how into saying the names of the game she gets. This is Valfaris. As I said, she's a good presenter. It just helps that the show was actually good, right? Like the PC game show it's just all right. Like, it's not like anything to write home about, you know? When people think of E3, they always forget about the PC game show because, yeah, I think the only reason people might remember it this time is because Shenmue 3's release date was announced in it. I mean, some of the games are good. Like, this actually looks legitimately good, but, you know, no one's going to really remember this game in, you know, a week. That's what sucks about being an indie at E3 is you just get overlooked so bad. We need Brütal Legend 2. Yes.
Just incredible action in the Valfaris trailer. I'm very excited for our next guest. In case you have not been in downtown LA,
What, my last name?
It's
Rumful
covered with Borderlands
Jance?
3 art. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And joining
Rumful
me is the
Jank.
amazing and beautiful Paul Sage, creative director
Jonk.
of Borderlands 3. Beautiful
Jonk
the new
Swat.
one. Yeah, there you go, Paul. Welcome. I mean,
I've heard every
there's been
pronunciation
so
from
much
everyone
hype
but the
around
actual
Borderlands 3.
correct
What's
one.
the stuff you're really excited to be sharing this year at E3?
Oh man, so you know, we
Oh,
talked
yeah, I've
about our
heard
Vault
Jane.
Hunters. Well, this
I'm like,
time
it's
we
there's a
talked
C.
about
How do you get
Mose,
Jane out of that?
And she is our
Alright.
gunner Vault Hunter. So
Yes!
She has a big mech.
Congratulations,
All
Nate
about loot. We're
Jane.
talking about, you know, the different loot,
Where's the
grenades,
Rumful?
those going to different
And
planets, so a lot of
Jane
stuff
is
to
not.
talk about.
Well, I mean, I want to start right off with Mose. Tell us everything
Jane and
you can
Tarzan?
about her.
Okay, yes, I'll tell you everything I can. So Mose, again, like I said, she's a mech pilot. She has this big mech. It's called Iron Bear. She gets into
Iron Bear.
You know, we have multiple action skills, which means that she can equip either a minigun or a rail gun or a flamethrower. You know, if you want to barbecue your enemies, something like that.
Oh,
So,
nice.
You
Mix
know,
and match.
yeah, Mose is a terrifically fun character for us right now.
Now, we've been excited to be collating a whole bunch of community questions. We're going to break them into two categories. First, there's a whole bunch of repeat questions that I want to make sure we get to right now. One of the big categories is about loot, because you've mentioned having
Rumful is the best
billion
thing.
guns earlier.
Rumful.
What can you tell
Too
us
bad
about some
that
of
part
the
of my
other
name's
gear
actually going to get
progression
dropped
systems
when I get married.
right in the game?
So.
Yeah, so let's talk about grenades. Like one of my favorite
Don't
things that we
worry,
don't
there's
get to
a
talk about
plenty
a
of
lot.
Rumfuls
So in the
still
past
out
we've
there,
had
let me tell
grenades
you.
that they've had like one thing. They can bounce, they can stick to different things, you know.
Yeah.
This time we're combining like all of those things. So for instance, the other day I was playing and I threw a grenade and that grenade had a bounce, it would stick, an explosion would come out.
This year's
and the
PC
grenades
gaming
would
show is
fire
better than
guns
other
as
years.
it was going
It's not
through,
as
right?
cringe
So
as
we
other
have, like, a
years,
ton of
right?
different
They have better
grenades that are in
games,
there.
which is partly in part because PlayStation 4 is not here. So games like Shenmue 3 that would be shown off with Sony's conference are being shown off here.
That shield will extend out in front of you, you know. Just tons of
and they
different
seem to
things
have
we
learned from prior
with
shows.
our characters, class mods.
Like, remember when they used to have a sit down and treat it like a talk show, like a late night talk show? It was so dumb.
I also remember earlier.
Now they're
mentioning
actually
about
doing
artifacts.
like
What are those?
a real show.
Are, you know,
It still drags on. It's still not that fantastic, but it's way better than they've done. Like, I'll get to give the PC and Gaming Show credit. It's gotten better every single year.
The barrel exploded. We're like,
so
well, that's kind of fun.
Eventually they'll
So
figure
why
out
don't
it
we
probably
do
should just
something
be a
like that? So
digital
artifacts
event. But
actually add certain things to movement. So for instance, you can slide faster. You can slide, and every time you slide, there's an explosion. We have something we call
I don't know what is going on here. I think this is
A
on
second
their
category
end.
of questions.
Pretty sure this is on
unrelated to-
PC Gamers
category of
end.
questions unrelated to loot. Well,
Because that's not
there's going to be a
buffering.
single-player campaign. What's going to be happening
That's their
after the
signal cutting
campaign?
out.
What are some of the beyond the single-player, maybe end-game content that you can talk about?
All right, in-game content. Okay, well, it's E3, so I can give a little bit. So we have this thing what we call the Guardian system. So for those people who played Borderlands
Oh.
before, you might remember Badass Ranks. Badass Ranks, you can get, it's basically kind of an infinite progression system that added to your stats.
Yeah.
We doubled down on that. We have what we call Guardian Rank. And Guardian Rank not only has that infinite progression,
I didn't even know there was an AMD
E3
E3 keynote, so no.
Go through. And the
I will
cool
have
thing
to
about
see
that is like every character that you play on that account
Yeah.
gets the benefits of Guardian Rank.
Oh, interesting. All right, last category we're going to go through, and then we're going to hit some rapid-fire questions. How do the boss fights in Borderlands 3 compare to Borderlands 1 and 2? I know those were big aspects. How do you build upon that?
Right, so I think of a boss fight, like I'm an old school Nintendo fan, right? So I love huge boss fights that have like three phases and stuff like that. So now those people, smart people in the audience know that we've talked about going to vaults instead of vault, right? And so there are different like huge boss encounters there that are just, multi-phase boss encounters. We have like a lot of different mini bosses throughout the game, so a lot of different boss encounters throughout the game.
Well, now I want to ask some
What's for
really
lunch?
quick questions
Subway.
that should be yes or no, very brief. First from Castoray. How will you be handling multiplayer?
Multiplayer, we will basically be allowing anybody to jump in at any time. So,
awesome. From MHL Animations. Can I pet the gun? Great question.
I'm not here to judge what you do with your gun. So,
They're streaming box. They should hire
All right,
you.
great. Sam Wiseman
You probably
asks,
have
is
better
Maya's
equipment,
new
man,
companion
than
a
they
silent?
do.
People are asking.
I don't know
the right
how that's
questions.
possible,
That's what
but-
I will say about that.
Oh, you tease.
Their streaming equipment
All
was
right,
really
from
glitching
Ironic
out.
Sanguine says, is Tiny Tina going to be seen fighting alongside the Vault Hunters?
Yes.
Nice. All right, I'm just going to blast through a couple more as fast as I possibly can. What's the level cap at launch?
50.
Will we get to see flak?
Yes.
Will we see golden keys and/or shift codes for Borderlands 3?
Absolutely.
Will there be duels?
Yes.
Other kinds of PvP?
Yes and no.
What kind of answer is that?
And also maybe.
And
Perfect.
maybe, yeah.
And will you be able to transfer weapons between your characters?
Absolutely, right from the start.
Perfect. And when is the damn game coming out?
Friday the 13th, 2019, September 13th.
Perfect. Borderlands.com for more information. Thanks so much for joining me on stage.
Sean, thank you.
September 13th.
And once again, if you have not seen all the setups in downtown for Borderlands 3, they're beautiful. Our next game, we're going to be revisiting a guest that we saw earlier in the show. He's upstairs with Frankie. What you got for us?
Oh, hi, we're live. Sorry. Hello, I was just, I was actually testing out my outfit for this weekend. I don't know, what do you think, John?
I think you look really sharp, as always.
Very sure. Well, thank you so much. John Gibson, president of Tripwire, thank you for joining us again on the show.
Yeah,
very
excited to be
busy
here.
man, yes.
What is happening right
last
now?
year,
You know it's
we
E3.
revealed
Someone's presenting in a
Man-Eater
shark
to
costume.
the world. And can you remind
Welcome.
everyone
Only at
who missed
E3.
it, what the game's all
Only.
about?
Or any show in
Man-Eater is an
Japan, I guess.
open-world action RPG.
They're always
or
doing weird
Shark
things at
PG, as
Japanese
we call
shows.
it. You start as a small baby shark pup, and you have to
Oh my
survive
gosh,
in
please
this harsh
don't-
world and try to eat your way to the top of the ecosystem.
Okay.
The three words that we think some of
I
the
thought they
game
were going to do
developers
the
explore,
baby
and
shark
evolve.
do song.
And
for a
we also
second.
have someone we'd like you to meet.
I'm like, please
Well,
no.
let's meet him then. Let's take a
No.
look at the trailer.
Her fake smile is so funny. She's like, I can't believe I had to wear this thing. But here's the thing. Can you say furries are taking over when it's a shark? There's no fur on a shark. It's a fish. What is going on? What even? Yes! Come up on the beach. Eat some people. Freshwater sharks. What's this?
Come any closer with that camera, we two gonna toss him.
What? I have no idea. Man-Eater. I mean, the game looks interesting. Yeah, shark's gonna eat the bird.
John, who was that appallingly dressed fisherman in the trailer? Because
Will I be doing similar coverage of QuakeCon, BlizzCon?
That was
Nope.
Scaly Pete.
Those
And
cost
Scaly
money.
Pete's the villain in this tale. Pete is is a best fisherman in the Gulf, the best shark fisherman, or he'll tell you he's the best shark fisherman. And he disfigures our baby shark at the beginning of the game and does some really nasty things. So he's not a very nice guy. And now the story of Maneater is told through the lens of a reality show called Shark Hunters versus Maneaters. And it follows Pete and the player shark on its adventures.
Sharknado, the game.
You know, it's a really
Shark
it's
Battle
a very
Royale.
exciting way to tell a story.
And based on that trailer, to be honest, John, it looks like your main goal of the shark is to just bite everything.
Yeah, there is an awful lot of man-eating going on in this game. That is the name of the game. And but we like to think of the game as a shark-tastic fun action game. It's like GTA if you were a shark. But there's
Grand Theft Auto if you were a
There
shark.
is more to the game than just eating. So we spent a lot of time moving through the water, breaching out, and adding abilities to.
I mean, the game looks
hop on
pretty
the
cool.
beach for an afternoon snack. There's a lot of exciting things that you can do in the game.
So it's like Shark Simulator,
Before, it's a shark
basically.
PG. How does that progression system
Just
work?
sharks
So
on
there's three
steroids.
facets to the Shark PG elements of the game. There's growth, there's life phases, and there's evolutions. So growth comes about through eating things, nutrients, people, whatever you can find. And that's kind of like your XP in the game. That allows you to level up. Your shark will grow a little bit. You'll get more powerful. And then at key phases that we call life phases, you'll make a big jump. So let's say you're a brooding teenage shark, and you're about to become an adult. When you become an adult, you take a big leap in size, a big leap in power and capability. And then as you reach these life phases, you unlock evolutions that can be applied to parts of the shark's body. For example, you could get metallic teeth that allow you to shred boats, or a powerful tail that allows you to jump to incredible heights, or you could get mutated lungs that allow you to spend a little more time on the beach getting those afternoon snacks.
Just really quickly, John, everyone's wanting to know this question. When's it coming out?
Echo the Shark.
So we're really hard hammerheading
It's the
away at
Dark
this game
Souls of Shark.
and trying to make it the most awesome Shark RPG ever. We're not ready to announce a date, but we're pretty certain you're going to see it before the next PC gaming show.
Well, I hope we do, John. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start biting people. In fact, I'm quite hungry at the moment, so I think actually I'm going to find an audience member because you guys look tasty. So I'll see you in a bit. I'm just going to have a snack. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Ewan. Gamer chair.
You know, one of the absolute best parts about being sponsored by iWin for the PC Gaming Show is that I get to sit for this next segment and talk to you about Terraria. Terraria is one of the best-selling PC games of all time, selling almost 30 million copies. And part of the reason why it's maintained such popularity is the fact that the developers Relogic continue to add content, going from 250 items at release to now over 4,000. Let's take a look at their penultimate expansion coming up, Terraria Journey's End.
Terraria Journey's End. Here we go. She proceeds to actually cannibalize an audience member. I will say, real gamers don't need fancy chairs, but having a nice chair to sit on makes like a difference. Not in terms of how good you are as a gamer, but how comfortable you are. I have a Maxnomic chair in my studio. You guys see it in streams all the time. And it is the most comfortable office chair I've ever sat in. And it makes a difference in my comfort level. And of course, Terraria froze.
The next title that we're going to be looking at is a game that is the spiritual
Don't think that's how they
successor to
meant
Her
that one,
Story.
Dad.
It's called Telling Lies.
We can't even
by
play a
Annapurna
video.
Interactive, and joining me to talk about it is game director Sam Barlow and actor-producer Logan Marshall Green. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
My main man.
Now, if you haven't played Her Story, you totally should. It's fantastic. I want to note, it is a game where you watch live interactive video in order to uncover what happened with a murder. What is it that's going on in Telling Lies? What's the premise?
So, like Her Story, Telling Lies is a game in which you watch video footage to piece together a story. And this time we have
Evil advertised gaming shoes.
NSA hard drive.
Did they have RGB? They didn't have RGB. They're not real gaming shoes.
Conversations between our four characters. Something has gone terribly wrong, and it's up to you to figure out what and why.
It's time to take a look at some of the gameplay mechanics and see Telling Lies in action. Let's take a look.
What is this?
Once upon a time.
It's late. I gotta get her in the bath. I don't love you and I don't miss you. You already know too much. It's late. I gotta get her in the bath. All right. Love you. Love you.
I've only ever been in love once. It was with a girl I met when I was 18, but I was too young and naive to handle it properly. I guess I still carry a torch for her, which makes me an incurable romantic or underdeveloped emotionally. I'm a loyal friend.
A man died in my house at work today.
It's an interesting concept for a game.
Oh, Sam, I got some questions for you about what we've just seen. Talk to me about the mechanics. I saw, subtitles up, highlighting, and it was loading more video footage. What's going on?
So what we do in Telling Lies is we take all of the exploration you would have in a normal video game. So all that walking around in a 3D world.
Yeah.
And we apply that directly to the story, to the footage itself. So you're going to be scrubbing around in these clips, paying close attention, and you're going to be picking up on the subtext, listening to names, people, places. And with that information, you're going to use that to find more clips, dig into those, and over time kind of build up this picture of the story. And it's truly like an open world video game.
Well, a lot of times with open world video games, they talk about, the square kilometerage, or miles in America. What's the sort of scope that we're talking about? Like, how many hours of footage is there?
So we got like over 10 hours of footage here.
Wow,
so it's a story that encompasses like 2 years. What I wanted to do with this one was, like I say, really embrace this idea of it being an open world game. You're free to explore and follow your curiosity. Just lose yourself in this story, all the characters. It's this huge, messy, colorful story that we're trying to tell.
Well, I'm curious, Logan, as a performer in this kind of game, what is it like to actually try to have all the layers in there for each performance, also not knowing when a player is going to be seeing the specific footage you're performing?
Well, it's definitely a non-linear open world game, but our approach and Sam's approach was not unlike a movie or a TV show, and we had to understand it A to B. And so for the most part, that's how we shot it. Obviously, when you're shooting a movie or a TV show, and in this case, a game, you're going to be shooting out of order. But we actually stayed pretty linear in how we approached the story. We went after it like all the other times we're actors. We just went after intention and what do we want, and we tried to make it as deep. It's got a lot of scope.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it as deep as possible, and Sam is one of the best movie or TV directors I've worked with, so it was very similar.
Nice. Yeah, look at you two. Now, of course, I do want to stress to any of you, if you have not played Her Story, it's quick to play through. It's absolutely brilliant. Please check it out in the meantime. But we're, of course, waiting to find out, when can we play Telling Lies?
Very soon.
Very soon, I promise. We'll have a date soon. Right now, you can go to Steam. You can wishlist it on Steam. We all love Steam. And yeah, very soon. We'll be showing a little bit more during E3, and the game will be out, yeah, very soon.
Fantastic.
Desperate to get it out there.
Yeah.
And people to play it.
As soon as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Logan, thanks so much for joining me on stage. Once again, Telling
That game
Lies.
looks really good.
Now, up on the balcony, Frankie's going to be talking to us about a game that my friends, year after year after year, keep telling me I have to play because of how much they've improved it. Frankie, what's going on with Warframe?
Well, one of my favorite parts of last year's show, aside from being upstage
25 minutes left in this. It runs
was
right up to
getting a
Limited
glimpse
Run
at the
Games
future of
conference.
Warframe. And here with the latest
But we'll
look
be
at
cutting
the
it
next
short a little
expansion
bit
to
so I can set
universe
up the
is
Limited
Space
Run
Mom
Games
Rebecca Ford.
stream.
So, chat, behave yourselves, please, because Mother's here.
So I apologize if there's a big game at the end and we somehow
We're
miss
going
it.
to take a look at an amazing trailer that our team has put together. A lot of our players have been waiting a year for a look at what we've been calling Railjack, so it's about time to, see what we've been doing.
Yeah, let's take a look.
And this could affect Switch too, because Warframe's on Switch.
Rebecca, it must be so exciting to know that the fans have finally seen it, and you're clearly going all in on the epic space combat. So tell me about the new stuff the players are going to be able to experience.
I wasn't shaking before we started talking, and now I am because it's real, because, Empyrean is what we're calling codename Railjack. It's basically taking the space ninja part of
Could be
Warframe,
worse, I'm
sending
sure.
it back up to space, bringing players that squad gameplay they know, taking the enemies like the Corpus and the Grineer, giving them their own Railjack to essentially explore the solar system with and take down the bad guys.
And when are fans going to get to see more?
They're clever.
Well, TennoCon is in London, Ontario. It's July 6th, and you can come watch it online on Twitch. We're going to be showing a lot more in our keynote for what Empyrean is going to be.
Well, today I'm getting a feel for the suit. So what's the deal with that sweet-looking Necros Prime? How do I get my Tenno arms into it?
I cannot say that on live television, but there are ways. But yeah, you just have to link your Warframe account to your Twitch account. If you watch 30 minutes of our Tenno live show, you can get it. But hopefully you stay for the whole hour because we got lots to show.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, and good luck with TennoCon on July 6th.
Thank you.
Okay, now we've seen some amazing stuff today, but nothing quite so gloriously strange as our next game. Developed by Brooklyn-based studio Feral Cat Den, it's an existential-based jazz odyssey set during the Big Bang. Yeah, it's actually blown my mind learning about this one. Buckle up, everyone, because we're about to get bonkers with Genesis Noir.
Genesis Noir.
Genesis Noir, beautiful stylish art. Next game we're going to take a look at is the twist on the stealth genre. It's called El Hijo, where you play as a 6-year-old trying to escape a monastery. And
You guys want to see some of Eric's humor?
Toys and tricks to
Go to
avoid
NintendoPrime.net and look at
Let's
like
take
the
a
last
look
few news
at this
posts.
gorgeous spaghetti western inspired project from Studio Handy Games.
That's great. Next conference is in 19 minutes. As I said, I'll be cutting this conference a little bit short so I can get the limited run game stream set up. Thank you so much, Ghost Lazy, for subscribing.
El Hijo, once again, is the title of the trailer we just saw. For our final guest tonight, please join me in welcoming from Larian Studios CEO Sven Vinke, and from
Here we go, Baldur's Gate 3, baby.
Wizards of the Coast, the creative director of Dungeons and Dragons,
You
Mike
guys ready for
Merles,
this?
to talk about Baldur's Gate 3.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I think it's how they're closing the show.
Now, this was only just recently announced. How did this partnership come about?
We went to see Wizards of the Coast at the end of Divinity Original Sin 1.
Yeah.
That was back in 2014. And I
Thank you so much, Shadow of Nexus, for subscribing.
Give us the Baldur's Gate 3 license, and they said, yeah. But we had a long chat about what the vision would be for the game. And then we kept on bumping into each other. And then suddenly in 2016, I get a phone call from Nathan Stewart, who's the big boss of Mike and the head of Dungeons and Dragons. He said, you need to come to Seattle right away. We're going to have dinner in a very shady restaurant. And he had this big stack of paper with him. And on it was Baldur's Gate 3. And in it was pretty much everything that we talked about. And he says, I'm going to present this to my board. Do you still want to do it? I said, yeah, of course I still want to do it. And then a couple of weeks later, we started negotiating. And here we are.
I mean, what does the Baldur's Gate franchise mean to you, Mike?
Oh, to me, it's the crown jewel of D&D computer games, right? I mean, for me personally, Baldur's Gate, the original one, was finally I had the chance to actually play a D&D campaign rather than having to run them for all my friends. So it means so much to us. Baldur's Gate, it's such fantastic storytelling, and it's so exciting to see it come to not only a new generation of gamers, but for the gamers who remember the 20 years it's been since the original, the first two in the series. So it's incredibly exciting. And for us, it's such an important part of the D&D mythos as a whole.
And we got a chance to see the trailer. Talk to me about some of the story elements, the world elements. What are things we're going to see in Baldur's Gate 3?
Well, we're only talking about what's in the trailer right now, but obviously you're going to go to the city, because we start with the city. You start outside of the city, actually. There's going to be mind flayers. They're very nasty. You are seeing in the trailer the process of ceremorphosis, as we call it. It's accelerated, so that's not normal.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a lot of iconic creatures, iconic characters, iconic places, and that's as far as we go.
I'm curious about some of the gameplay elements, because obviously, there's just been a big resurgence of Dungeons and Dragons, tons of broadcasts on Twitch. I mean, how do you translate some of the insane things that players want to do into, what has to be a structured computer game?
So we started with the player handbook, which is basically the basic rule set of Dungeons and Dragons.
Which player handbook? Which edition?
5th edition. 5th edition.
Right. Yeah.
And so we ported as much as we could to the video game. We looked at what worked really well. We looked at the things that didn't work that well, because it is a video game, and this was made for tabletop gaming. And so we started modifying those things, and then we had to add things on top of it because if you play tabletop, you have a game master and you say, well, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then the
I
game
want to
master
start a fight with a pigeon. And he's like, okay, roll for dexterity.
Exactly, that's it. So we had to add systems to make that possible within the game. But we've gone very, very far.
Yeah, I mean, can you give an example of like a crazy moment that a player might do that you could actually play out in the game?
Well, I could, let's say that we get into a fight because you ask a nasty question, I don't want to answer it. And I take the chair over there, I put it on fire, smash it on your head.
Yes!
Well, just as an example.
It's just an example, it's fine, we're just talking,
These are things that we have to put systems into the game for to do it, which are not necessarily going to be described inside of the book.
Interesting. And I mean, like, Mike, in terms of your role, speaking to Larian Studios, you have tons of data of all the sorts of things that players do. What's the sort of information that you provide in assistance?
Well, really what it comes down to is providing the story support. You know, we think of Dungeons & Dragons, the universe of D&D. It's like a toy box for dungeon masters and players to go into and build their own stories. So working with Larry and working with Sven, a lot of it was just opening up that toy box and sharing it. And giving that kind of guidance. You know, like I remember one of our first meetings, we just laid out a map of Baldur's Gate and the Sword Coast and asking a lot of questions like, what kind of story do you want to tell? Where do we want to go? What are the cool locations we always wanted to put in a game like this? And then in terms of the system support, you know, what does it mean in terms of the story for each character, for each character race, each character class, so that if you have your favorite class and it's in the game, you really feel like you're taking on that role that you love so much from the tabletop. It's really coming to life in an authentic way in Baldur's Gate 3.
And we're going to talk in a moment about, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 release dates and whatnot, but we have a second game that we want to talk about and on a new technology known as pencil and paper. I understand that there is a tabletop prequel coming for Baldur's Gate.
Exactly. So in Baldur's Gate, we think there's one saga, all the different games coming together to tell one grand story of this city. So on September 17th, we're releasing our next tabletop campaign, Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, and it is the next chapter in the Baldur's Gate saga, and it's a prequel to Baldur's Gate 3. So if you haven't played a Baldur's Gate game since Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, this is your chance to check out on the history. It's been about 100 years since the events of Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah.
So this will give you a chance to check in on the city, to see what's going on, its current state, who the movers and shakers are. We also feature a complete levels 1 to 13 campaign that takes you from the mean streets of Baldur's Gate to the depths of hell itself. And sort of pose to the players a question, do you want to redeem Baldur's Gate or send it to damnation? So we're putting that right in players' hands to make that choice.
Well, I have to ask Sven, it's a question on a lot of people's minds. What can you talk to us about expected release time frames?
So people have been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah.
They're going to have to wait a little bit more when it's ready.
When it's ready.
This is the game that we want to play, so we want to make sure it's really, really good.
Wait,
and then when that's the case, then we'll release it.
Well, I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time. And I think I speak for a lot of people here when I say, take your time.
It's just
if
going to
any
be
of the
on
original
Stadia.
Sin games are any indication of the quality, it's going to be fantastic and worth the wait. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me on stage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ben and Mike talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Goodbye. Goodbye, guys. Why are they leaving? Well, it's because the PC gaming show has officially concluded. Let's bring up on the stage the fantastic Frankie Ward. Come here,
Just
Frankie.
enough time for me to go get the limited run game stream.
Well, thank you so much, Sean. Hasn't this audience been absolutely fantastic today?
Guys, thank you
Just dead
so much
silence.
for coming out to the 5th annual PC Gaming Show.
It is a small audience, to be
We
fair.
want to give an enormous thanks to all of you who tuned in live. We want to, of course, thank all of you who personally showed up this morning, and of course the sponsors who helped make this possible. Epic Game Store, iWin, Frontier, Funcom, Paradox, Interactive, Hovercast, Perfect World, Rebellion, Tripwire, and Samsung. As you know, PC gaming is a platform. It's not a publisher or developer, so these sponsors are essential for letting us put on this show every year. Thank you so much.
All right,
I gotta
guys.
ask Frank, any titles you're excited about?
Gonna be heading out here. I gotta get the limited run game stream going. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes for the start of limited run games.
Maybe elephants
Bye.
include